Hello, everyone, and welcome to Utica TV Frozen Game Day live from the National Championship Division III Hockey Final is now. We got Utica University playing host to the Hobart Statesman. I'm James Brown, Jordan alongside me, Jeremy Horowitz, Nico Leonard, Jack Rathburn. Guys, what is this atmosphere right now that we are experiencing?
I mean, right now it's a little dead. No one's here yet, but that's why we're here. We're here early because we're going to be talking for an hour, maybe an hour plus today. Give the fans what they want, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Well, I don't know if we can necessarily call it dead after what Jordan Lambert just went through. Some of it off camera, but it's definitely picking up. There's some next door. Utica FC is playing a playoff game, I believe. Me and Jack went over there for a few minutes. Got like 11-3 over Texas. So it's a good day so far in Utica. We're waiting for the fans to pile in. Doors aren't open until 6 o'clock. So about 15-20 minutes, the place really get packed and pumping.
Now, me and Jeremy were saying it's kind of a cool day to live in Utica. I mean, you've got playoff soccer going on right on the other side of the building, and then you've got a national championship in the same building. Like, it's a crazy day to be in Utica. So, like, right now, this building, the room we're in, not that alive, not a whole lot happening yet, but, like, it's definitely going to get packed. The energy's going to be insane.
Well, we got to talk about the storylines for this game. Two of the biggest ones I feel like that you have to talk about is Hobart being on the quest for a three-peat, back-to-back national champions. For Utica, they have a chance to make history and bring home the first national championship in any sport in the university's history. So much on the line right now.
Oh, yeah, and not only that, we get a shot at the team that knocked us out last year when we really thought we were going to do it last year. There was a lot of hope and a lot of buzz around campus that last year was the year. They set out. I remember everyone was, when they got on the bus, they were waving goodbye. They had signs, bring home a chip, bring home a chip. There was a feeling last year like, oh, we might just do it this year. And this Statesman team is the team that kind of blew it for us. I remember watching it in the TV studio with a couple of people. Some of you might even been there, and it was just upsetting. And now we have a chance to really avenge that today against this team. And I know for a lot of these guys, it's going to be extremely, extremely personal.
Yeah, it's definitely kind of cool to think about both the storylines that, like, both teams have something to fight for. Hobart's obviously got, like you said, JB, the three-peat they're going for. This is the 40th Division III national championship in hockey that's being given out ever. So, like, this is the 40th anniversary. Like, it's kind of a cool thing for any team to want to win. But then Utica obviously never won a national championship in anything. The closest they've gotten was Jane Fahey in the shot put was able to get second. She was super close.
Yeah.
But,
yeah.
That was last year. So I mean, Utica's able to come in.
Shout out Utica Track.
Shout out to Utica Track. I had to throw it in there.
Utica Track guy right here, Jack Rathburn, giving out the promo.
Had to give a shout out to a teammate. But now Utica's got a chance to make history, their first national championship.
How close has baseball been?
We're not going to talk about that. We'll save it for
With Eric Corey and Justin Noto, they've got a good shot.
That's my point. We're going to save it for Wednesday. We talk back to Justin Noto when he returns from Massapequa, Long Island.
The flu game.
I'm sure he's listening. I know Noto, we miss you, buddy.
Love you.
Keep the flu back home in Massapequa.
Please.
Listen, you guys, this is a Hobart team. Again, only lost one game all year to Albertus Magnus, a school I know I bring up every time. I was thinking about going there to play baseball at Albertus Magnus.
Losing record.
They went 12-13 this year.
Losing record.
A bit of a fluke game. It happens. Sometimes, you look at this, you look ahead. Maybe been a look at it's about on the schedule. But again, this is a Hobart team lost one game all year, and like you guys mentioned, they're going for their third national championship in a row.
Let's talk a little bit about Hobart's last two games they've played in the tournament. One of the craziest hockey games that you could have watched back two games ago in the quarterfinal, where Hobart was down 2-0 heading into the third and final period. People thought the giant powerhouse of Hobart was going to get kicked out of the tournament. Not so fast. Scored 2 goals in the third period, winning in overtime, and then yesterday just pure domination versus the Geneseo Ice Knights.
In any sport, a 2-goal lead is the most dangerous lead to have. It's a fact. Everyone has said it. Shout out my father, who was my coach growing up.
My dad told me the same thing. My dad told me the same
It's a real thing. I've blown way too many 2-0 leads. You're never safe, and hockey especially, you are never, ever safe from a lead like that. And Hobart is a great program, and they were able to prevail. I mean, everyone expected to see him here at the end of the day.
Now let's talk more about the Pioneers' last 2 games. St. Norbert, again, trailing, come back to win the game in dramatic fashion, 5-3 final score there. And then yesterday, you want to talk about dramatic. Oh, my goodness. For those folks that did not see that game against Curry College, one of the best sporting events I've ever been a part of. The overtime winner by Eric Vitale off the rebound from Brian Scoville. Just could not have scripted it any better. Right here in Utica, too.
I think it's interesting. We've got to look at that, that both teams have had these comeback wins. They've been down. They've been able to fight back in the later moments of the game. I think we would kind of be surprised to see something like that because both teams know that they're capable of doing it, but both teams know that it's possible to happen. So they're going to be really cautious of preventing something like that from happening. If they're able to get the lead, I think it's going to be a very conservative game where they're not trying to let let any space up or trying to give any free opportunities.
I think we got to remember too with this Hobart team. Yeah, they won 2-1 last time out against Geneseo. I can never say that name right.
Say it correctly this time, yeah.
They had 2 goals.
I'm a producer.
They did have 2 goals to get called back. One of them going off the post from where I was standing when I was calling the game. Looked like it went in. And the second goal that got called back was off an Easton Ryan dipsy dangle. It was like a trick shot, and they called it no law for a kicking motion, which I don't necessarily
agree with
with
that either. I think he tripped.
But that game wasn't as close as the score made it seem. If that makes any sense.
Sure.
This is a Hobart team who has a lot of firepower, and I mean, the goaltending is just as, maybe even better than the Curry College team.
Yeah, and I'll ask you guys all a question here. We all watched the Geneseo Hobart game. At any point, did you really think that Geneseo was dominating in that game?
No, I think they were lucky to be in that game.
Yes.
There was a couple spans of minutes where I was like, okay, this is the Geneseo team that I was kind of expecting, but there was never really like a full period, where I think we saw with Utica and Curry where there was periods. I mean, both coaches said it in the post-game interviews. The first period, they both kind of fell off. Second period, it was kind of shifting momentum. Like, both coaches said they felt strong at times, but Geneseo, I never really think, found their groove for longer than a few minutes or a few shifts at a time.
100%. And I was sitting in the Geneseo crowd taking some shots up there with my camera, and there was a different vibe in that section than when I looked across the ice to the statement section. The signs really never went down except for when they scored the goal. Was it Peter Morgan?
Peter Morgan came out of the penalty box, and he was flying. We're up right up the right wing, got a lead pass and beat the defender, had the right angle, and that shot was placed perfectly. It reminded me of Carolyn Whitney's shot last year against Adrian to win the first annual Utica University kickoff tournament.
That was a great call too.
That was Doug Croft and I. So Doug Croft, I'm pretty sure this is on the WPNR airways as well. So Doug Croft, and I miss you, my man. I want to call another game with you before I have to get out of Utica. But yeah, that shot was very.
Utica men's soccer spring game.
I could do that.
We all might have to run game day for that one.
Right? Men's soccer spring game.
That was one of the nicest shots I've ever seen in this building, especially at the D3 level. Unfortunately, it wasn't enough for Peter Morgan and the Ice Knights team.
And we talked about it yesterday, too. Like we said, Peter Morgan scores that goal for Geneseo, and it didn't really feel like anything was drained from the Hobart side on the ice. Yes, the crowd looked a little scared. All of a sudden, their team's tied going into the third, but it didn't really look that way for the Hobart team. It was just kind of another day in the office. Like, we're tied. We're not down a goal. Like, we can snag a goal back. We're Hobart. We're going for a three-peat right now. Like, we know what we're capable of, and they got the job done because they get the job done. Clearly, 28-1-1 record. Their only tie was to Babson, and Babson's not a bad team. Yeah, they lost in a shootout. They still brought them to a shootout, and then that one loss, like you said, you could call it a fluke. We'll touch on that. I don't know if I'd call it a fluke, but we'll call it a fluke for now.
And I think that's kind of saying something about the momentum and the energy. It's like not really a thing you can kind of track on a stat sheet. I guess the closest thing you can kind of compare that to is like a time of possession timer, like the number. But that's why you're saying if you see Hobart, you're in a tie game with Geneseo, you're not really worried because you've had the puck, you've had the most opportunities, and your crowd knows that as well. So you're not as worried in a position like that. Yeah.
Well, we're here at the national championship. Both teams, I gave the analogy of the immovable object versus the unstoppable force. I think we're getting two unstoppable forces meeting each other right now. Both teams red hot right now. For Utica to win that game, I'm sorry. I think, although everybody at this table, I want to call it, but sitting here, a little table right here, but everybody here picked Utica other than myself. I feel like that was a huge upset. I really was shocked that my Curry College Colonels, I said Colonels.
College Colonels?
Yes, my Curry College Colonels. Yes, my purple and white. My darling purple and white dogs.
Couple of days in both D3 sports and D1 basketball. So it's been a rough couple days for you.
But that was one of the biggest wins in program history, if not the biggest, and to win it,
100%.
It's the biggest so far.
It is the biggest.
I don't think that's a crazy thing to say. It's the biggest win so far.
I mean, they've never been to a national
If they get it done today, it's their first appearance. If they get it done tonight, that definitely surpasses it. But the way they won that game, it was just grit.
But what do you guys expect? Like I said, two unstoppable forces meeting each other. Pioneers coming off of a crazy win. Hobart just dominating all fastest. How do we see this game playing out?
Well, I think the beauty of this game is that they're two very, very different teams, and they had two very, very different seasons. Hobart started off the season exactly how they're playing right now. They came into the year with expectations, similar guys to last year, and on a hunt and a quest for a three-peat. We came in not really knowing what's going on. A lot of guys leaving. We lost Ethan Roberts Horowitz in net. We added Piros. We had a lot of transfers come in, a lot of inexperienced guys in the Utica program, not exactly in Division III hockey or hockey in general, but two very, very, very different programs essentially going into this, and a Utica team where a lot of us here didn't expect us to be here, but Hobart, the expectation was for them to be here.
Yeah, I mean, the Utica team that started out the season in, October, November,
Ugh.
I think that roster was supposed to do a lot more than they did. Obviously, with transfers and injuries, the team is much different now. I think the shakeup is what really helped this team. Obviously, we talk about Ryan Piros all the time, but the other transfers who came in really helped this program. Third, fourth liners who maybe don't play every day, but once they're in, they're making an impact. And I don't think the Pioneers necessarily had that in the beginning part of the year with their third, fourth liners.
No, and that's what's so huge. Not to cut you off there, I'm sorry, but you know me, I just want to keep talking. I'm fine with the
Yeah,
hockey
I know.
show,
This
you
is
know?
awesome.
That's why I got you. You're the hockey guy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, big puck guy. But the big thing, like you said, is the third, fourth liners that we added, like Teo Dario. In 18 games now he's played, he's got 12 points. He's a big addition to the team. A big thing that we have that a lot of other teams in the nation do not have is a fourth line and a third line that can compete with first and second liners. Shane Murphy is on our fourth line. Think about that.
We saw it last time out. I mean, we talked about it in the first and second intermission. Gullickson was the Pioneers' best player, I thought, in that
absolutely.
game.
He was
Obviously, Vitale scored the
phenomenal.
game winner, and he had a bunch of breakaways and open chances, but Gullickson was all over the ice. Offensively, defensively, he was making the extra play. He was back-checking really hard. The forecheck was incredible. Like, he's a third liner. He's a third-line left winger. Like, that doesn't happen on anywhere else in D3 hockey, I don't think. This Hobart team, very, very top paper. We'll get into the players and everything later, but this Pioneer team, obviously, yes, you have your top scorers, you have your top goal scorers, whatever.
Sure.
But 1 through 12 with your skaters, everyone can make something happen.
Yeah.
I think one of the biggest things I'm going to be looking at is the coaching, because I mean, there's no doubt, no one's going to disagree. Like, the players, incredibly talented. No one, like, obviously, these are the two best teams in Division III hockey. The players are incredibly talented, but I think it's going to come down to the coaching for a couple reasons. First of all, these are two teams, like Nico, you were talking about, saying this is kind of two teams that had different stories in their regular seasons. Hobart came out as hot as they wanted to. Utica kind of didn't start the way they wanted to, so Hobart doesn't kind of get a vision of what this team was able to do throughout the entire year. And then we go into the postseason. These are two teams that have struggled in game, but have come back. So there's a lot of things they're going to have to look at from the coaching standpoint to be how are you going to play through all three periods of the game.
Sure, and speaking of coaching standpoints, we're looking at the lines before this game. One little change on the first line, Drake Morse and Johnny Malera have switched wings. So Johnny Malera is going to be on the left wing, and Morse is going to be on the right wing. Why? I wish I could analyze that. I wish I was PK Subban, but I'm not PK Subban. Go Devils. Gotta snag it in there.
Go Devils.
It's probably just a matchup thing, or maybe
Yes.
they just feel more comfortable on that side. But that first line is one of the best lines I've ever seen in D3 hockey. We've seen so many great players on this Pioneer team over our years here. But that first line for the Pioneers,
Such a complete line.
You're not going to like this, Nico, being a Devils fan, but it reminds me of the kid line in the playoffs of the
I
Rangers a
can
couple years
respect
ago.
the kid line.
Between
Absolutely.
Ito, Kakko, and Lafreniere. Now, sadly, it's only Lafreniere left on the Rangers roster. But it's kind of reminiscent of that, because those three guys can just fill in any role with each other, and it's seamless.
100%. 100%.
What I feel like, watching that game yesterday, I feel like the first line didn't play their best. I feel like it was a lot of those second, third line, fourth liner guys that came through for the Pioneers. Do we think that if the Pioneers need to win this game, if they want to win this game, do we think the first line needs to play like they've played, in games past other than yesterday?
Well, yes, but it's going to be tough because the first line is playing against the other team's first line every single time.
Bingo.
And we just spoke on the Pioneer team. I think you guys touched on it as well. I believe they're deeper than the Hobart team. I think their third and fourth liners are not necessarily better players, but I think they can bring
Better as
more
a
to
unit.
a team. They're a much
Better
better
as a
unit.
unit.
Right.
Mhm.
They play together. And that's what this Pioneer team is not the most talented team that we've seen. It's just not. From a pure talent perspective, it's not. But they play for each other, and I really think we saw this after the Teddy Bear toss game. They came back for the second semester, and this team is completely different. And I do think the transfers and guys like Ryan Piros have helped seam that transition to what it is now. But this Pioneer team plays for each other, and that's what I think separates them from this Hobart team.
Yeah, back with that point, Jeremy, about this Pioneer team playing for each other. We were at the post-game press conference, and hearing Brian Scoville say, hey, at the end of the day, we're playing for Gary. That was electrifying to me. I was like, wow, this team, when you find a team that's playing for something bigger than themselves, bigger than just the team, playing for a coach that was one of the best coaches in the nation, never crossed that step, kind of compared himself to like a Connor McDavid, like, hey, McDavid's never really going to take the step to being the greatest because he hasn't won one. We got to win one. And the fact that they're playing for their coach, I think, could really propel this team to do great things tonight.
And I think they're Coach Gary Heenan obviously talked about he's one of the best coaches in the entire country, but he's got a mindset going into this game as well. We were kind of listening to him during that post-game interview after the game against Curry, and he's saying he's confident going into Hobart because, in his words, he was saying this is a Hobart team that hasn't really changed over history. They've had a coach for a pretty good amount of time, and really their strategy and the way they play hockey has not changed. So I think he's pretty confident in the game plan he's able to give his guys to go into the game.
I mean, they saw him last year in the semifinal. You mentioned right off rip, Nico. They lost to this team in the semifinal last year, 3-1. I mean, I honestly think this is a better matchup for the Pioneers than playing Geneseo, because I mean, you already lost them 3 times this year. You know what I mean? You lost to them twice in the 2 biggest games of your season, that being the Teddy Bear Toss and UCAT Championship prior to this weekend. I think seeing Hobart really ignites a fire in guys like Brian Scoville, Eric Vitelli, guys who were here last year, core guys, and of course Gary Heenan. I think this is the matchup they wanted, and I really think we're in for a great one tonight.
As an athlete myself, if I'm going to be in a finals, right, and as an athlete, oh my God, the amount of finals I've lost is absolutely heartbreaking, so let's hope it's not like that tonight. But if you're going in to play someone in a final and you've played a team 3-4 times in a year, they know everything about you. It becomes a chess game, much like the St. Norbert game, and they didn't even know each other. It becomes more of a, well, I know what they do, what can we do different? And a lot of times coaches will overthink stuff like that. You go against a team that you haven't played all year, fresh, they've never seen Ryan Piros, they've never seen Tio DiDario. This is a new team to Hobart. This is not the team that Hobart knocked out last year, and this is certainly not the Hobart team that knocked out Utica last year. So to go in with a fresh start, to me, that's relieving, and I want to play national championship hockey against a team that I haven't played all year.
And I think for Utica, there's kind of like a good and bad situation because there are 2 options with either Hobart or Geneseo. Hobart, obviously one of the best teams in the entire country. That's a really scary team, back-to-back national champions. No one's not scared of Hobart. But again, if you were going to look at Geneseo, that's a team that spoiled your season pretty much all year. They spoiled the UCHC championship, and they took that from Utica. They spoiled the Teddy Bear Toss, like the biggest game of the year in terms of like attendance and like hype around that game.
I'm just sick of them at this point.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
So there's like a part of Utica and the Utica fan base that might want to play Geneseo in the finals, kind of like prove a point, get their get back type of thing. But Hobart, you might want to still have that opportunity. You don't have to face Geneseo because you know that they've kind of got your number.
Yeah, we'll get Geneseo next year kind of thing, you know? Let's get Hobart this year, let's get a national title in Utica, and let's turn around next year and let's run the UCHC again. That's what they're thinking right now. And that is a motivating thing to have in the locker room. I guarantee that's been in the locker room on their whiteboard for a long time, where it's just written up on the board. We want Hobart. I want Hobart. At least if I'm Gary Heenan, since day one. We take it game by game, but don't forget, Hobart's the one that spoiled it last year, and we really thought we had it last year.
One more thing I want to talk about with motivating factors. You know, in that same post-game press conference, we both heard Curry College and the Pioneers. In Gary Keenan's opening statement, as one of the first words he says, it was an awesome crowd. The crowd was electric. Same thing goes when the Curry College coach spoke. He said it was a tough environment to play in. Do we think that this environment's going to play the same factor it played yesterday here tonight?
Think about this. Think about this. We are now in a national title game for the first time as a Utica Pioneer team, right? We haven't left Utica. They haven't even touched a bus since they lost the UCHC final. They haven't touched a bunch since the UCHC playoffs. Yeah. They have ran through everything up until a national title game. If we're going to do it, this is the year to do it. I'm not going to say it's been handed to us, but in a way it's kind of like, here it is. It's not a layup. You got to go cross court for a buzzer beater, but it's here for you. It's being given to you, and I think that's going to be a huge factor today.
Yeah, having the crowd back in the Pioneers all night. It's a sold-out crowd. It sold out in, what, 5 minutes? Tickets went live after Friday night.
I heard it was 2.5. Yeah, even our own Doug Croft couldn't get tickets.
Yeah, like that's absolutely absurd to me. Doug Croft also helping us out on 90.7 WPRN FM. We keep the government happy, in the words of Ray Biggs.
Yeah.
But yeah, and the crowd is going to be insane tonight. You mentioned the Curry coach talked about how it's a tough building, tough place to play. And again, the scene that was here on Friday night, there were fans lined up standing. It was like a pack of sardines all over the rink. It was absolutely insane.
The window back there.
Yeah,
I don't know if you guys can see it on the camera. There's a bar back there with a window.
They weren't even in the rink.
You couldn't see the window.
They weren't in the rink. They were inside their bar, restaurant, whatever you want to call it. They weren't in the actual rink. They're watching through glass. Like this means everything to the city of Utica right now, and for what it would do for the fans and the people who come out to these games every single time, I really think that would propel the city. As we know, the city itself is trying to build itself up with the new hospital and everything. I think this would totally keep people in the right direction.
Yeah, no,
that was for the semifinal. I'm going to cut you off.
Yeah,
you cut me off last time.
Yeah.
That was payback.
That was for the semifinals. We've still got 55 minutes and 40 seconds until puck drop, and they're already lining the outside of the bleachers, the stands. This is going to be a really exciting thing. I mean, you talked about last time for the last game on Friday, we talked about D3 hockey likes Utica, and I think Utica likes D3 hockey, obviously. No one's going to deny that. And Jeremy, I think it's a great point. I think a national championship, even if they lose, I mean, this is obviously doing great things for hockey, Utica University, but a championship would just mean everything.
And look, I don't know, like I said, I don't know if you guys can see it back there, but there are a lot of Utica clubs slinging in that bar right now. There are a lot of them. Utica clubs are slinging tonight. We're feeling super, I'll call it patriotic towards Utica right now. You know, if I'm you guys, if I'm people at home, Utica clubs strictly tonight.
UCs, all UCs.
It's
I'm
just
sure my mom
tonight.
heard that. I think that's one of her favorites. So
Good.
Mom,
Mrs. Horowitz,
back on
pops
Long
and
Island.
UCs.
Look,
They
I'll
sell
say
on
it's
Long
my
Island.
favorite
now.
today.
Yeah, so she may go to Stop and Shop right now and go
Get
grab
some
a 12
UCs.
pack.
Come on.
Good, because they're slinging up there, because the bar is filling up. And when the bar starts filling up, in here is going to start filling up, and it's going to start getting a lot louder. And this environment, you're going to start seeing it on this show how crazy it's about to be.
Well, boys, I didn't want to start so soon with my villainous actions for those that were part of the broadcast yesterday. But guys, this is a Hobart team. Their crowd was packed, and can we talk about how packed that game was for a 2 o'clock game on a Friday? People are supposed to be working. People are supposed to be in school. It was packed to
defend you.
Nobody works anymore.
I wouldn't give you.
Nobody
That's not a
works.
villain response there. That's not a villain response because you're correct. You're 100% correct. 100% correct. That Hobart crowd looked like we might have been in Hobart for a little bit.
There was a lot of them. They were right in
loud.
front of me, and right in front of me and Jack and Ryan, whoever was calling the game. They were right in front of us. But there was a lot of them. They weren't that loud. They really weren't that into it. Of course, they score.
I disagree with
They
that
were-
one.
Well,
I'm gonna disagree as well.
having 2 goals get called back, I've been there at hockey games when the Rangers have goals get called back. It's deflating. And you kind of felt that from an energy standpoint at those points in the game. Kind of felt like Hobart was like, well, we should be up by 2, 3 goals right now instead of just 1 or tied at 1. It kind of felt like they had their energy totally sucked out. And if the Pioneers get into an early lead, I don't think the Statesman faithful will be that much into it compared if the roles were reversed.
I hate to
I
do this.
disagreed.
I hate to do this and take JB's side, kind of in terms of like being nice to Hobart. But I
Only
mean,
time in past 2 weeks.
considering that we are in Utica, I think the Hobart crowd and the Hobart fans were pretty loud.
It was definitely impressive. I'm
gonna
not
be
gonna say it's not, but compared to the Pioneer crowd tonight, I don't think they stand a chance.
I wasn't honestly. I was less impressed by the Utica crowd. I mean, Nico, I know you were
Yes.
standing over there taking some pictures, and we like until that goal was scored to kind of put them ahead. It was kind of
The
disappointing.
first
that as well.
period,
That's a good
the
point.
first period, they talked about it. Gary Heenan as well. So the first period we came out slow, and I think the crowd was a part of that. I think they expected the environment to be packed.
I think it was a real
jumping, and it
filling
wasn't.
out period from obviously the teams, but the fans as well, because this is a building that they haven't played in at least maybe once, twice ever.
I think
They're
once
used to
this
playing
year,
next door. This,
And if it was
it's
if it
unfamiliar
wasn't
for the
sure,
players and Gary, but it's unfamiliar for the fans too. This is uncharted territory for most of them, especially most of them are standing up. You don't really get that at the odd. You have 6 rows of seats and I don't know, 15 chairs in each row.
Yeah.
It's a different environment. You stand up for 60 minutes plus.
I will say it might be a little bit, our scale might be off a little bit. We were used to the SUNY Poly versus Utica basketball Empire 8 conference matchup. That was like electric. That's basketball. It's back and forth. You've got 2 massive student sections.
College hoops.
It was insane. So our scale might be a little bit off in terms of what we're expecting out of a
Yeah.
crowd. But again, I don't think it's crazy for, I'm going to agree with JB. Say I was a little bit disappointed in Utica and pretty impressed by the Hobart crowd.
I wouldn't say I was disappointed in the Utica crowd. I think we were talking about this when we were in the booth during the first period. We were talking with Spencer Davidson of WKTV. Shout out Spencer. He said there's nerves.
Yeah,
This
definitely.
building was nervous. And you know who else was nervous? And we talked about this in the first period intermission. It was our team. Skaters out on the ice, all the Pioneers. They were nervous. And they were nervous. They didn't want to control the puck in the ozone. There was a lot of nerves going into that first period. And I think rightfully so after what happened last year. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Second period came out. The boys came out. And so did the crowd. Everyone woke up. And I think a lot of the students came out of the bar by the second period and they were ready to go. I mean, that is a big thing. We talked
Yeah,
about
definitely.
student crowds are different
Yes.
than your season ticket holder
Absolutely.
crowds.
I mean, the Pioneers controlled 18 out of 20 minutes in the second period. But I also think it was a different Utica crowd than we were expecting. I was expecting the herd to be in here in full effect and
we
it to
talked
be
about this, yeah.
students. It really wasn't. I mean, at the
We got a little
you
more
see it all the
students
time.
coming today.
Yes,
for
of course.
a bunch of coaches got tickets for teams.
That's-
So every
that's awesome.
team got 20 tickets for
Which-
players.
that's
So there
what we
will
needed.
be athletes and students
And
here today.
they were selling the tickets outside of Strebel, which I think was also a good move. Kind of
Unfortunately,
make sure that students
Eric
got
Corey's
the
baseball
tickets.
team won't be here tonight, but Eric Corey's here in our hearts. But I really think that crowd last time out, it wasn't what we were necessarily expecting because it was more of an older crowd. families, adults with children. It's tough when you have a 4-year-old kid sit next to you. You're not going to go and scream at the glass and drop F-bombs.
Hey,
it's different.
But you know who the most electric part of the crowd was? That Mastrovito Hyundai Suite. Oh my God! I have pictures I gotta put out at some point.
Just walked past them going down the stairwell.
Oh man, dude, the
His kids are
Mastrovito
out.
kiddos, dude, those kids had their shirts off up over President Todd, going like
everything.
this. It was
Everything
insane.
about them was great. They were very, very nice, very, very kind. But one of the kids had a Josh Allen t-shirt on. I did not appreciate that at all.
None of us like that here. None of us like that here. Unfortunately, you guys are Jets fans, so we can't really speak too much, can we?
No,
we just move on from that one, right?
It's just jealousy.
Let's move
it's straight
forward.
up jealousy.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, let's talk about, we set the stage with how things are going to look on both sides. Let's talk about key players in this game.
Oh, I'm
Jeremy,
so
I know you called both Hobart and Utica's game. Give me your 2 players you think are going to make a key difference.
I'm interested.
I'll start off with Hobart. I mean, I'd be wrong if to say anyone besides Tanner Daniels. I mean, a 40-point guy on the year for them, 18 goals, 22 assists. But his line mate, Luca Quero, was right there with them, 16 goals, 17 assists for 33 points. I mean, we saw them against the Ice Knights. They controlled the pace of play every time they had the puck. They were very, very impressive together, and that's their top line. Those are their 2 top guys. You have to watch out for them, of course. But my guy for this Hobart team, Shane Shell. Very, very impressed with the way he played. He's a winger. I believe he plays in the line with Daniels and Aquero as well. He's quick, knows how to move with the puck, and he's always in the right spot. So the Pioneers can't lose him on a back check, can't let him get open at the goal line because he will hurt you. And for the Pioneers, I mean, of course, Jacob Rowe, Drake Morris, Johnny Lara, the top line.
Sure.
It's those 3 against the Hobart 3. It's chess. Like we said about the St. Norbert game, it's chess, not checkers.
Chess.
I'm picking, I know for the Friday game, I kind of picked the basic ones that I was kind of hyping up the entire time, the 2 goaltenders, Soderwall and Piros. I'm not picking the goaltenders this time, but I'm picking the 2 basic guys, Tanner Daniels. Jeremy, I know you and me were calling that game.
You have to.
Tanner Daniels was a name that you said it felt like every 15 seconds. He was everywhere on the ice. He was doing everything he was supposed to be doing. But also for the Pioneers, I'm picking the same basic guy, Jacob Rowe. For the same reason I picked him on Friday, I think we have to win those faceoffs. We saw, Jeremy, you talked about, you said something like 18 of 20 minutes the Pioneers had the puck.
It felt like they had the puck the entire 20, and every time they didn't, who was it? Curry just iced the puck. They iced the puck probably 5 times within 3 minutes.
They were shot.
Yeah.
They were shot. That's what happens when you possess the puck.
I said it. And when you have the puck, that makes an impact. I mean, Coach Heenan was saying it in the press conference. He was saying, like, we had the second period. That was the Utica Pioneer period, was period number 2. And if you have the puck the most, you're going to get the momentum and you're going to get that energy, if nothing else. So that's why I'm taking Jacob Rowe, because I think he's going to win those faceoffs, and that's going to be crucial to keeping the puck, getting the momentum, and getting a win.
100%. 100%. I agree with you there. I don't agree with any first liner being a key player for Utica today. That is my big take of the day. I am going to go with Tanner Daniels from Hobart. To have 40 points on the season, I don't know how you don't take him. He's going to be massive, and if he's going to get by this defense led by Stoville and Perek, that's going to be the guy to do it. And so for Hobart, I'm definitely taking Tanner Daniels. It's without a doubt. It's going to be their first-line guy. It's kind of how they are as a team. Luca Quero, you mentioned as well. That line is going to be massive. First-team all-conference, both of them. Aquero has almost 37. That's what Jacob Rowe has. That's our leading points on the team. So I'm taking those 2 100% for Hobart. For Utica, it's going to be big between the 3rd line and the 4th line today. Massive. I love that 2nd line with Vitali and Della Rovere. But the 3rd and 4th line are going to be massive. The Gully Daddario Lundberg line and the Shane Murphy, Gutt, and Hughes line. Those are going to be the big ones. My key player for today is going to be Shane Murphy. I want to take the vet. He's been around for a long time. He's been leading the 4th line all year, taking a step back as a vet. Honestly, I think that's the most honorable thing you can do as a player, to take a step back. It's much like professional sports when you take a salary step back, because you're looking out for the team. Shane Murphy has made the bottom lines better with his experience, and he's going to really need to step up today with that line. John Gutt is a great player, Jersey-born, Middletown. Absolutely love it. That's about 50 minutes from me. I want to take him for a goal, but yeah, we'll get there, you know what I mean? But I truly believe, because our 3rd line and our 4th line, and you said maybe not better, maybe just better as a unit, I am going to say that they are better than Hobart's 3rd and 4th line. These 3rd and 4th lines are what made our season this year. They're massive. Daddario coming in was huge. Gully played the game game of his life on Friday. It was massive. He played phenomenal. I almost cursed there. Excuse me. I'm getting fired up here. But I'm going to take Shane Murphy 100%. He's going to lead that fourth line. It's going to be massive in those kind of minutes when the fourth liners are out there. And then you got third line defense with Perek and Reed Oliver. We talked about this in the first period intermission, how well they did. And they're going to be massive today.
Nico, I think before you go, JB, real quick, I think you bring up a great point. I didn't see the Hobart third and fourth line out on the ice much against the Ice Knights. I can't recall anything they did that was necessarily spectacular or really game shift. They were just kind of on the ice for their 45 seconds to a minute.
If they were lucky, expect a third and fourth line.
Of course. But the Utica's a deeper team, and the units are just, they play for each other. They play for their head coach, like you said, JB. And it's going to be a gritty battle, and the Pioneers have the guys on the lower line to get it done.
Yeah, for Hobart, for my picks, I'm going to have to go with Tanner Daniels, like you said as well. Everybody said it not to be basic, but, I mean, when you got 40 points, how can you not pick the guy?
Sure.
And for one of the biggest reasons as well, Utica, when they lose big. You saw the 7-3 loss versus Geneseo. I want to say that was the same score in the Teddy Bear Toss game, too.
They lost. Teddy Bear Toss 5-2.
5-2.
They lost a road game at Geneseo 7-3, and they lost the championship game 7-3.
Exactly. So big blowouts. I think Daniels and that first line, like you said, of Hobart, dominant, two first-team all-conference guys. They need to score. They need to score quick, and they need to score fast. The Pioneers have not played from behind since that St. Norbert game. I think it could be a little tough for them, like you said, in the Nexus Center for the first time since earlier on this season. If they have to play from behind, that's a different type of hockey than you're playing with the lead or even tied. So I'm going to go with Daniels. And then for Utica, not to be basic, but I'm picking Ryan Piros, and not for the reason that you might not think. Obviously, he played one of the games of his life yesterday. He's been playing some of the best hockey of any player on their team. But when you look at that tie and that loss that Hobart has, goaltending is the keys to those games. 34 saves, 45 and 34 saves for both of those goaltenders in those games. Big numbers. Piros is going to have to make a lot of saves. Those two losses were low-scoring games as well. This goaltender of the Pioneers, Ryan Piros, needs to make saves, needs to keep his team in the game, and he talked about it in the press conference. He said, all I want to do is give my guys long enough. Don't break before the other guy breaks before me. And I think that's exactly what he's going to have to do tonight. He's going to be the key for the Pioneers. If Piros plays like he's been playing, like he played last night, might be a good night for Utica.
And Jamie, that leads me into my next point perfectly.
Yep.
I mean,
I know where you're going with this.
15-2-1 in the year. You got to go against Damon Beaver. 17-1 on the season, 5 shutouts, and he is massive.
Dude, he's only let up 20 goals in 17 games. Piros he's played 18 now, Piros, and he's let up 33 goals.
Beaver
Big difference in
Most
attendees
of those being to Geneseo, though.
Just by size and stature, Beaver and Piros, they are far different.
Oh, yeah.
Piros is more closer to my body type, shorter.
Yep.
Around my height. He's definitely still
freshman.
Still, yeah, that makes me feel good. He's like, whatever.
We're calling this guy a freshman
I
right
mean,
now.
you're, what, 5'5"?
5'6" on a good day.
Yeah, okay.
In Mazzy's shoes, maybe 5'6.5". But Beaver, huge. He's just like Soderwall. He's a big guy. You got to get him moving laterally. Piros is more of a butterfly guy. He can move quick. He can use his edges. He can. I mean, the save against St. Norbert, Jack, it was right in front of both you two, Nick. It was right in front of both of you. He lunged across the crease and dove like Superman and batted a puck into row 7. That was one of the most athletic things I've ever seen. Beaver, I don't think he's a guy who's capable of doing things like that. Not to say he's not a good goalie, because he is, but he doesn't have the same athletic ability that Piros does. If you're Utica, you have to get him moving left to right, just like Soderwall. Take shots from the point, get guys in his face, and just try to beat him going left and right.
When you talk about Ryan Piros, he's obviously an acrobatic guy. He's able to make those incredible saves. I mean, we keep talking about the one from St. Norbert. Even before we started the show, we were talking about it's just one of the best saves I've ever seen, to be honest.
Yeah.
But if you're able to get him moving around like that, I don't care how good of a goalie you are, you're going to get tired. You're not able to make that's not a sustainable way to play. You've got to have your defensive lines do something to stop these shots from coming in. As for Damon Beaver, I think, Jeremy, we kind of talked about it in that first period against Geneseo, sorry. We didn't see him getting a whole lot of action. Like, he wasn't being worked as much as you probably would have liked if you're the team that's getting ready to play him. You didn't get to kind of get a scouting report against a really good team.
Well, Jack, I think that could be a good thing for the Pioneers. The fact that he wasn't tested yesterday, he might come out here, get some shots fired at him from guys like Vitali, some of those first-line guys like Morris, too, who had a goal versus him last year.
Hope he's a little rusty or something.
Yeah, exactly. The rust might be coming off a little bit.
The one thing that I think is crucial for the Pioneers today is taking high-quality shots. We saw, especially in that first period, last time out against Curry, a lot of the shots early were either forced or blocked. A lot of the shots they took were from low-quality angles, and they had tons of defensemen in front of them. and it just wasn't a recipe for success. This first period, they cannot play like they did on a Friday night because they'll find themselves behind rather quickly.
Yeah, and that's something we kind of saw throughout the regular season as well. I mean, me and Ray were calling one of the games, and the Pioneers had something like 50 shots on goal, which is insane, but the score was not ran up that much. Like, they had goals, obviously, but not as many as you'd expect with 50 shots on goal.
Yeah, well, Jeremy, going back to your point, when you talk about the Pioneers, I mean, I almost just lost my train of thought.
It's been a long weekend. It's been a really long weekend.
It's been a long week.
The PA guy started talking, and you couldn't remember.
Yeah, exactly. There's too much going on. But like I said, going back to your point, good quality shots. The rebounds are going to be key tonight. I mean, the game-winning goal came off a rebound. The beautiful shot from the point from Scoville led to Vitali coming wide open. And like you said, a big guy like Soderwall could not get across there that quick. Those are going to be the types of shots the Pioneers need to get. The rebounds are going to be huge. Like you told me the other day, shooting low, trying to get the puck out in front. Those are the types of plays the Pioneers need to make if they're going to win.
Yeah, and that's what one thing I think benefits them defensively. Ryan Pierce does not give up a lot of rebounds. No. If you're going to beat him, you're going to beat him up high, probably blocker side. Because, again, he's a shorter guy, but he can move laterally. He's very, very quick. He's not going to give up many rebounds. Damon Beaver is huge. He's a big guy. You do, again, get him moving left to right. Take a shot at it. If you're on the right wing, take a shot at his left pad on the ground and have it rebound right to your left winger. You have an open net, at least half of it. There's a chance there. For the Pioneers, you got to come out early. You got to attack this guy often. You got to take high-quality chances.
100%. And you were just talking about how Brian Scoville, they might be coming out. Yeah? No?
I mean, I think they're going to be close. I see the goaltender. Look at the Hobart side.
Yeah.
Look at those orange jerseys coming out here. Oh, this is going to be.
He's getting a little excited.
Literally.
Too
excited. I don't like it. But like I was just saying, Brian Scoville in overtime gets the shot. Vitali ends up putting it away. I mean, that was phenomenal. But a big thing to take away from Utica is how good a lot of our defensemen are on the blue line. Hobart is the exact same way. Their leading defenseman scorer, I have it written down here. Oh, boy.
That's why we make notes.
Yeah, it is why we make notes. It's Austin Moreau. He's got 9 goals, 12 assists as a defenseman. Best stats leader as a defenseman right now. He's actually up there in points. Again, going back to those lower line guys on Hobart don't do as much. They rely heavily on their top 2 lines, including their defensemen, to score. We don't. Aiden Perret, first team all conference. He's got 23 assists and 0 goals.
We've got
some straight. If you're the Moose, he's an absolute apple giver. He just gives apples all day in Perret. 0 goals, but 23 assists. Scoville has 4 goals and 20 assists. We got guys on the blue line that are dangerous. So if we can just possess the puck and allow those guys to sit on the blue line, we are a dangerous team. And so is Hobart, but not on those lower lines. Perek is on the 3rd line with Reed Oliver. Those guys are good on the blue line, and against the guys that aren't as good for Hobart on those lower lines, they become seriously, seriously dangerous.
I love that point. Again, because I don't want to be the guy who agrees with everything, because that's no fun to watch.
Yeah.
That's a really, really good point. We saw it with both teams. Again, the Pioneers controlled the pace of play in that second period against Curry because they controlled the blue line and neutral zone. Hobart does the same thing. We saw them completely dismantle Geneseo in their own end. I mean, their top line of defense is absolutely absurd. They had an extra skater who was a defenseman. His name is blanking me right now. I'm sure I'll see it in the line chart. But
for Utica?
No, on Hobart.
I was going to say, our extra skater is Patterson tonight, I believe.
The Hobart defensive pairings are very, very strong, especially in the offensive zone at the blue line. They know how to keep the puck in, they know how to walk in, take high-quality shots, and they can move the puck very well. So again, if you're the Pioneers, you have to match that in both your defensive zone and the offensive zone. Now I have to scream because there's a blaring horn. But this is going to be, again, chess, not checkers. It's going to be a battle of skill, but also mental between the coaches.
Here we go! Let's go, baby! Here we go! The national champions are on our side. And we got them on our side. And they're in the blues again. Look at those blues. They're in the blues.
They look great. Boy,
they look locked in. We got Anthony back skating by us right here. There's Vitali, the goal scorer in overtime. We're ready to go here. We are fired up.
Now,
we
boys,
are fired up.
Back to your point, though. I wanted to ask you both a question, Jack, you as well. So you talked about how good. Hey, don't tempt me.
Ask away, pal.
But you talk about the first line, how good these top lines are. Yeah, this guy loves
dial.
This guy's
hockey warm-ups, dude.
But when you talk about these top lines, how do the Pioneers shut those lines down and let them not have success, so they have to rely on the lower lines, which is how they could probably win this game?
JB, I have an answer for you.
Okay, give me one.
Exactly how they played against Curry College. They played phenomenal. They did their jobs. They did their jobs against the top lines of Curry while they could. And Curry, a very similar team to Hobart that doesn't have those lower lines. They rely a lot on Soderwall. And now they go against, our third and fourth line, and they look great. They look phenomenal. And our third and fourth line is going to be massive because our first and second line just needs to do exactly what we were talking about with Piros and exactly what he said in the press conference. Just hold it out until someone does something. And I'm telling you, they're going to rely on those third and fourth lines today.
Well, I don't know if you can necessarily shut down the top line for this Hobart team.
They can.
You can limit them. You have to limit them. No, you can't shut these guys down. It's like Steph Curry. You can't shut down a Steph Curry. You can limit them.
Better make sure this door's locked.
Open the door. I'm ready to go.
Make sure this boys. As Rick Flair says, a flying Brian Scoville into the shot.
You cannot stop those guys entirely. You have to limit them. Limit their looks at an open net. Limit their looks one-on-one or an odd man rush with Piros. They have to make sure they're pinching at the right time, mainly covering those guys every time they're near the puck. You have to take them out of the play entirely and make the other guys beat you.
Well, boys, I think it's about that time.
No, already?
We got
Not
plenty
that
of
time? Not that time?
We got Kanye West here.
Nick Phillips somewhere loving this right now.
Yeah, it's time for Pioneer Powered Picks. I think it's time.
It's time, boys.
I think it's time.
Pioneer Power Picks. We're gonna give our picks.
I'm not ready for yours, though.
We got some Utica fans up there.
Oh, yeah.
That are already
Lots
picking
of
Utica.
orange hats.
A lot of orange, a lot of blue.
Here, let's
But there's also a lot of purple, a lot of orange.
We got
Just
the
wanna
Master
know.
Hero kids in paint on their chest.
Oh my gosh, it's
They got
electric.
Utica on their
They have
chest.
Utica written across their chest. You guys can't see.
here. They're ready to go.
They're ready to go. All right, boys. Pioneer Power Picks. Mr. Undefeated, I'm going to let you lead it off this time. Oh. Nico,
Jeremy Horowitz doesn't
who are
bet
you
Utica anymore?
taking to win the national championship?
All right, so I'm going to take you through my morning here. Been feeling a little under the weather. Woke up feeling pretty good today. Great sign for Utica, am I right? I woke up and I got two outfits out. I got a purple dress shirt out, and I got a blue suit. Not to spoil the party here, but I chose the blue. Look at them in their away blues. We got a good look at them. Aren't they beautiful? Aren't they
look
just
great.
lovely? So I'm going to run you through why I think that those wonderful blues are going to prevail and lift the national championship tonight. We touched on it. A big thing tonight is going to be the third and fourth lines. We touched on it. I don't really need to go over it again. Shane Murphy's going to be massive. Dollingston needs another massive game. He needs to play even better than he did. Lundberg needs to put away chances like he did against St. Norbert and wipe away what happened in the last game. Not to say he played bad, but some big chances that he's definitely looking at tape and going, God, how did I not do that? Players like Aiden Hughes as well to really step up. He's gotten the nod. He was a scratch for some of the season in a lot of games, and he's gotten the nod for the entire national championship. Those guys are going to be massive. Ryan Piros is in phenomenal form. We talk about the stats and how he's not up to par with Soderwall and the Hobart Tendy as well, but as of recently, since he wiped away the UCHC championship, Hero looks just as good as a Soderwall and just as good as this Hobart Tendy. 100%. This team wants a national championship. The city of Utica wants a national championship. I am a firm believer that narratives matter in sports. Narratives always matter. The McNeese team manager being Mr. Aura. They're going to win. Are they better than Clemson? I don't know. But narratives matter. You play for something. Utica is playing for Gary Heenan. Utica is playing for this crowd who is here 30 minutes before the puck's going to drop. All getting drunk at the bar. This place is packed already. Utica wants a national championship.
Fire me up. Come on, Nico.
I don't see how they lose this. Put aside skill sets. Put aside a good hockey team, a bad hockey team, forms, winning the UCHC. I don't care. Give me Utica. We're in Utica. Like I said, we haven't left this building since the UCHC first round where we wiped Chatham. Oh my God, it was awful. 9-0. We're not going to lose this game. Utica is going home with a 3-2 victory in regulation.
Jack, you go because I'm gonna try to figure out how I can top Nico. You go next.
I can keep mine short. I can keep mine short and sweet. I'm shouting out Brady Barnard, Hobart, Kmart, Mario Kart. We're ready for the party to start. Give me Utica. We're taking the Pioneers. Come on. All day.
Pioneers.
I think exactly what Nico said. I think the narratives are gonna matter. I think there's no way Utica cannot lose this game. I think they want it way worse than Hobart does. I mean, we talk about they want the three-peat. I think if you're talking about you want a three-peat or you want your first national championship ever in any sport in school history, you want that national championship way more than Hobart needs a third one. I think there's no way. I mean, again, we can put the stats aside. I don't care about the numbers. Energy aside, narratives. I think there's no way Utica's going to let this game be lost.
And, you know, I want you to speak soon, because I know what you're going to do. But seriously, like going back to this whole narrative thing, a national title game, a conference final, a final in a youth soccer final when I was a kid, nothing matters what happens before it. Clean slate. Everything's wiped. You are 0-0. The score is 0-0. Nothing matters except how you woke up that day and how you want to play. And these guys are home right now. They're in the uniforms that they just beat the #1 team in the nation. They are on cloud 9. They're cocky. They're confident. I know they are. They're back. The Utica Pioneers that we missed for most of this season and did not win a UticaTV final, that's not who's on the ice right now. This is a Utica Pioneers team that quite literally we've never seen before because they're on the ice for a national championship game.
All right, JV, what do you think? It doesn't matter what you think. We're here in Utica. Gary Heenan said it the other day. This is the best place. This is the best place to play. The Exit Center, the audit doesn't matter. We're in Utica. We're in our own backyard. And what are you going to do when Gary Heenan and the Utica Maniacs run wild on you? Give me Utica!
I love it.
Oh, wow.
Fire me
You
up.
got me. You really got me. I was like, oh, it's my turn.
We have to.
It was not here, JV.
Little
Let's do
homage
it.
to Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, the final boss. Had to throw in some type of WWE mention.
All right, boys.
And he's got tracks. And you know why he has an eye patch for the viewers that don't know? Poor Tracks doesn't have an eyeball because of this guy. Now I'm going to let you do your pick because you're a villain now.
Okay, well, we set the stage. Yeah. Pioneers, Statesman for the national title. And I woke up with a bit of a feeling in my chest, too. I woke up angry today.
Oh, yeah?
I woke up really, really
Wrong
angry.
side of the bed, JB?
Wrong side of the bed because I woke up and I said, I missed another pick. I missed another pick.
4 in a row, pal.
4 straight. I am 0-4 on Utica TV Game Day. And that made me angry. I'm a competitive guy. I don't like that. So that's why I thought to myself, you know what? This is the one. And I'm going to call it right now for you folks. Whenever we do our next in-studio 4J show, if I am wrong about this pick, I'm going to come in with a clown nose and a clown wig, dressed like a clown. I am going to get dressed up like a clown.
That's a director's
because
dream.
I am so ready to make this pick. And that is why. Nico, you mind just holding this?
Sure, I can hold this for you. I am James Brown.
Oh,
my God, come on.
I really thought about this long and hard. You're going to see.
Oh my God.
To take the Hobart Statesman, give me my uniform. The Hobart Statesmen are going to win the national title. Not 1, not 2, but 3 straight. Give me the 3-peat and give me Hobart to win the national title.
Okay, I hope you got like Amazon Prime to get that wig ready.
I would order it right now.
Yeah.
I don't know how that's going to work.
I got some writing on my chest, too. I know the kids over at Vito Hyundai got some, but I got some writing on myself.
Brian's going to kill you.
I'll show the
I think Landsberg's about to throw up because he looked at your shirt and your hat.
Let's throw up on the ice. Clean up on aisle 7.
The Statesmen are coming in here. There is nothing like a hungry team, and this team is hungry. 3-peat? Are you serious? How could you not take the Statesmen?
You think Utica's not hungry for their first national championship?
I think that there's could be a hungry dog, but we got some hungry wolves over
Maybe.
there.
I'll tell you what I
There's some
think.
hungry
I
wolves.
think
Hobart's stuffed.
If nothing else, I think you are Trax's #1 enemy. You broke the guy's eye. I had to draw one on him. And the folks at home, I had to
great,
draw
Jimmy.
an eye on him.
You're a
Thank
good
you.
parent to him.
And now you're picking Hobart in front of him. In front of.
Give me the
Look,
Statesman.
So many people in Utica.
These guys are
orange
probably
and
looking
blue.
at you like, what does that say?
Yeah, they're probably thinking that this guy's on a Utica
Right here.
Game
Give me
Day.
Hobart, baby.
He's the host.
Oh, yeah.
I think.
yeah.
I'm the captain now.
If and when
I'm
he
the
gets
host.
his pick wrong, we're going to have to make some changes to who's the host of this show. No, it won't be Justin Notar, but it probably will be James Brown
How
Ivan.
about this? How about this? For the 4J show this week, you show up in clown makeup because Utica's going to win. And on top of that, Jeremy will host.
Oh, wow. Okay. Now
I don't know if we want that either.
Hobart, I don't know if you can hear me. I love being the host. Please win this game. Please.
Jeremy will be hosting the 4J's Final Four sequence this week.
Oh, Oh, no.
I may be just making this up, but it seems like ever since JV made his pick, the Pioneers are shooting the pucks a little harder when they're missing the net.
I don't think they've missed in the last 5 minutes.
No.
I hope they could see it. Let's go, Statesman.
I'm really
baby.
disappointed in you.
Why is that?
I thought today would maybe
I had to
change the
make the
tide
right
of
pick.
JV.
I need to win this pick, Jeremy. This pick means everything
I'm
to
not
me.
going to ruin it, but for the viewers back at home, we've had now 5 segments of Utica TV Game Day. Shout out everyone in the production room, everyone at Utica TV. Shout out Laura Lewin. Shout out everyone here, Justin Notar, Kate, our high school intern, Terrence, who's directing. Your Hobart. So we're back. I'm the new host because this guy's in a Hobart shirt. We went offline because someone came by with a cart. National championship frenzy already, but we're back. Thanks for everyone tuning back in. I want to explain what's going on with this kid because there's a lot of disappointment around this crowd right now. We've been doing a segment of this show now 4 times, Utica TV Game Day. We've followed the Utica men's basketball team from their quarterfinal game against Houghton to the semifinal against Naz to the final where they beat SUNY Poly in Meaga Court and won. In every single one of the picks, including the last game, JB has taken the other team, and Utica wins. So, yes, he truly believes that Hobart's going to win.
I do, from the bottom of my heart.
He really does, from the bottom of his heart. But we also
I thought about it all morning.
love to see this guy in this ugly makeshift DIY shirt that I absolutely hate. Give me the nears, but it's because Utica's going to win because of this guy. And then he's going to be in clown makeup on the 4J show this week, and Jeremy's going to be our lovely host for a week.
I love that. That'd be awesome.
It's
I
not
can
gonna
host
happen,
back,
boys.
I
The
can host Utica
Statesman.
TV Game Day at the baseball game with Joe Malazzo.
Yes, you can. Yes, you can. That's going to be your new reward.
Oh, wow.
And you can be clown makeup for that.
Oh, boys, I'm getting nervous, but I'm not nervous
The
because
one
I bet
time
on the right team.
JB picked Utica, it was when the basketball team traveled
just about to say that.
play Montclair State, and Utica lost by 19. And listen, they're a good team. When you have the JB Jinx on your side, it's
odds
pretty
are
much
against you.
inevitable.
I'm
You have no
telling you
chance.
right now, if JV were to pick Utica right now, I'd be so scared. I'd be so scared. I would
happy.
I wouldn't call the
sure I'll
game.
be scared.
I would tell us to pack up. I just go home.
JV, honestly,
I'm
I
undefeated
think
in the
I'm
national
down.
championship.
thank you for picking Hobart. I really
You're
appreciate
welcome.
it.
You're welcome, because I know that I'm going to win this game, and I'm going to love hosting. I wish I could do a little bit of bet with you guys. One of you guys are interested in gambling. I know you're a gambling man.
Don't forget
Come on,
to
do we got something for you? You dress up in clown makeup if Hobart wins, or
I don't want makeup on, but I'll do a little.
wear a wig?
No, I don't want to wear a wig either. We got to find something we
Okay,
can do.
we'll figure something out. We'll let you folks
I have
know.
some ideas. Because you just said you don't want to wear a wig, you're wearing a wig, pal.
Exactly. It
No,
could
I'm
be
not, because
something you
Utica's going
want
to
do.
win, so.
It's not going to happen.
I'm not even
boys.
going to order the wig. However,
am
the clown makeup's already in my room.
I'm undefeated in national championship games. Undefeated, never lost.
Yeah, because you never what?
Never
You
lost.
never had a national championship game to pick.
Yeah, we're all undefeated.
And I was undefeated before the last game, and I won. And folks at home, I predicted it to be 2-1 win in overtime. I did say Johnny Malera was going to score it. I should have went with Vitaly
That's
after
right.
the
He's
teddy bear
saving,
toss.
he's saving the game-winning goal for tonight. You know Johnny Malera? He played at D1 Maine. He's been in a position like this before. He knows how to win in high stakes. Johnny Malera is going to net one tonight. That's my prediction. It's going to be Malera, assisted from Scoville and Ryan Piros.
All right, so since I'm now the host because this guy's a Hobart fan, I'm going to ask you guys a question. Goal scores for tonight. Jeremy?
I mean, I'm taking Malera for Utica.
Okay.
I have to. I'm going to take a defenseman for Hobart, Caleb Chow, who scored in the last game. Really like his presence at the blue line.
Sure.
But I think the Pioneers win 2-1 in regulation. Game-winning goal, Shane Murphy.
I love that pick, Jeremy. I told you, fourth line.
It'll be an elite, scrappy goal at like the 6-minute mark in the third. They'll be tied at 1. Murphy will come around the net on the back end because they know they love the wraparound chances for this Pioneer team. They love the wraparound. He's going to take a wraparound on his forehand, flip it right behind Beaver. Utica wins 2-1. Thank you, Shane Murphy. Thank you, JB. And let's go home.
Goal scores?
I don't know a whole lot of the Hobart players. I'll
That's
be
fine.
honest.
Go
But
Utica. I'm going to go Utica
I'm
too because I don't care about the Hobart Statesman. We're done analyzing
either.
them. I care about the Pioneers. Take it off.
I want to rip it.
Take it off.
I'm going to rip it. Like the TikTok
it looks
show.
great.
We only need 3
Ignore
schools now.
him. Ignore
I
him.
worked hard on it.
Thank goodness he's not going to be here for the first intermission. He's doing this and he's leaving the building, actually. I'm really happy about that.
Oh, you're right. We're kicking him out.
We're kicking him out.
Hey, Zamboni. Hey.
I do want to say I'm taking Johnny Malera. I've talked about this on Friday. He's been my guy since day 1 of the season. My first game that I called hockey, I said we're going to look out for Johnny Malera. He had a couple of great opportunities early in the season. I was kind of mad he didn't get a goal until later in the season. But
Sure.
I really like his opportunities that he finds himself and he takes really good shots. So I think he's due for a goal in this one.
All right, you don't get to go. No, I'm kidding.
Hey, come on. Well,
All right, my goal scorers. Alexander Gullickson is going to score tonight. He needs a reward for how well he played. He's due. He is Eric Hull's brother. Go Devils. Have to say it again. We just restarted
Every
the
time,
stream.
bro. It gets me so mad.
I know. Good. Hey, we're 10 points clear. We're going to be in the Metro 3. I like to see the Canes right now. But going back to my point. I went out last night, had a couple drinks with a Nico Leonard jersey on. It looked great. Nice jersey, third jersey on. Phenomenal stuff. Phenomenal. I know there's some Devils fans up here with the comments. Anyway, yeah, attaboy, JB.
right here, Devils fan.
He don't count. He doesn't count as a Devils fan.
All right, so I'm going Alexander Gullickson for sure. Alexander Gullickson for sure. Then Shane Murphy is going to snag a goal. I completely agree with that. And I think the third goal, the winning goal, is going to go to the new man, the Teododario. I think he is going to win it. I think it's going to be a new face today. I think that's important. It's going to be a new face.
Well, boys, for my goal scorers,
I told you can't go.
there's going to be a whole lot of statesmen. Trevor Daniels was going to have more than one, I guarantee that.
Tanner.
They're going to have a lot of goals all over. Tanner, my
Some
boy.
statesman, am I right?
The statesman.
He didn't even know what a
You know
statesman
what?
was. He called me this morning. He goes, "What is a statesman?" I was like, "A political figure."
To be fair, I don't really know either.
It's a political
It's not going to
figure.
matter.
Isn't that weird?
it
though?
is.
It's a political figure.
An argument we'd like to have, we
Weird.
talk about this sometimes. We talk about the mascots. Who would win in a fight, a statesman or a moose?
Well, the
Not even
political
close.
figure's
We can say
done.
this for JP. He's the one who says it all the time, every week. He brings up some type of dumb analogy that doesn't make any sense. So let's hear it, JP. What's the National Geographic answer for that question?
Okay, so what would happen is the statesman would take the moose into a court of law and send him right to jail so he wouldn't even have to fight him. That's exactly what would happen because we think smarter, not harder.
Power of the government, right?
Exactly.
God.
You
So
gotta
it's
go with the
corrupt.
statesman.
It's corrupt.
No corruption. Just
We're rooting
better
for the
thinking.
people here.
Better
The
thinking.
pioneers are the people.
Let me get a little nostalgic for real quick. Let me go a little off topic. This song playing classic by, I believe, MKTO. I sang this song in my 3rd grade talent show.
Yo, can we get a video of that?
My mom can send it to us. Yeah, look, he's fine. Whatever you
please.
find that.
No way.
Yeah,
That would be electric.
I was killing on the
I've
mic.
seen this.
I was dancing and singing
You know
with my
what's
brother and my
funny?
buddy.
I'll throw myself under the bus as well. I was Cat in the Hat in a theater play back in 6th grade. I'll have to show you those pictures.
I tried out for the 6th grade play. My mom wanted me to try out. I tried out for the 6th grade play. I tried to be Donkey from Shrek. I got a couple for the 2nd round.
All right, boys. Well, I think it's just about that time we wrap the show up.
I can see who was talking to you.
Any final thoughts before we wrap up, boys?
No, I can't focus now. He's talking. It makes sense.
Jack, you got
I'm
anything?
losing my voice because of it.
Nothing.
I'll take over this. I'll take the floor because Nico is crying. Jack, Jack's ready to go. And we're not going to let JB say anything else. I know we got to wrap up. I mean, first things first, my man Terrence, he looks phenomenal. Looks great in the suit.
He does.
And again,
we're going to get him on at some point.
Before we go underway with this hockey game, for the first intermission or puck drop or anything, I want to thank you guys for a phenomenal second semester. I know we got so much time left, but listen, on my senior year, everyone besides Jack, we're all graduating in May. I'm glad I get to do this with you guys. Laura, thank you. Terrence, Trey, Kate, you're not even in college. She's in high school. She comes out and helps us all the time.
Kate's the GOAT.
Absolutely.
But she's not going here, and it's sad. She's going to Siena.
Our staff is absolutely phenomenal. Listen, all the lovey-dovey stuff aside, JB, shake my hand. The bet's on. And I'll see you in your clown makeup on Wednesday.
I'll see you at the top with the Statesman.
Listen,
I'll see you at the top.
Strax did not lose an eye for nothing. It's a sacrifice that will be repaid today when Gary Heenan and the Utica Pioneers hoist the national championship trophy like Roman Reigns and take it back to campus.
And me and Jeremy saw the trophy. We were walking around the rink earlier, and we saw it. It was cool. It's cool to look at. It's a big trophy. It's nice. It's shiny. It's fun.
It is shiny. And I'm not the host anymore. Hey, JB, close out my show for me.
Oh,
good boy.
I would gladly close out the show because I pray and I hope to God that the Hobart Statesman win this game so I can still host and be the great host for you guys. But thank you all for tuning into this episode of UticaTV Frozen Game Day. We're going to be here for the intermissions, so don't go anywhere. 20 minutes of hockey coming up. Tune into WPNR 90.7 FM Utica to listen to that game. Ray Biggs, Jeremy Horowitz, Riley Calhoun on the call. Don't want to miss it. Thank you for joining us, and always remember to...
For the Moose.